Over the last season, there's been a lot of different chances for doubt after missing the games because of step-ups. Going through a whole off-season not knowing where I stack up with people because I haven't been competing with them now. I didn't get to compete at the semifinals last year. I didn't get to compete at the games last year. The only chance I had to compete was 6 months after the fact when we went to Wodapalooza. And then at Wodapalooza, it's like, okay, now I gotta refigure back out where my fitness is at comparatively to people and then execute on a game plan. Like, nobody wants to come in here 3 weeks after we missed the CrossFit Games, and now our goal is still to go back to the CrossFit Games, and now I gotta come and do echo bike intervals and echo bike sprints by myself in hopes that that's gonna get me back to a place where I don't mess up a movement standard again and then get completely penalized again the next year and completely kicked out. Going back to just the goals, this is what I've decided to do with my life. I wanna set my family up, I wanna set myself up. I don't wanna be done with CrossFit and then go figure out a 9 to 5, and I want to set myself up so that I can still continue to create my life and what I'm going to do going forward. We stayed on the grind, we worked hard, and now, even compared to 3 months ago, we had no idea how the rest of the season was going to turn out. And everything that I've made my task to do this year, I have accomplished so far. You know, I've checked every box. It's pretty crazy how in a year's time you can become really irrelevant in people's eyes because you didn't make it to the games for whatever reason it could have been. It's been a challenge to be like, okay, do I just pour myself into programming and coaching and taking care of my gym and elevating that and building that and doing things there, you know, versus put myself through all this mental torture and stuff. I love the sport, you know? I'd be doing it anyway. I'd be still coming in here every single day, working out with the crew and the community, pushing myself to be my best. So I'm just gonna continue to grind it out as long as the wheels stay on. After 2024, got the step-up penalty. Everybody was talking about it. There was a big fiasco with it.
Oh shit, Nick Mathew is 76. So if this, Will Branstadter's reporting Nick Mathew 76. So this is another thing. God, I didn't even know how much I like Nick Mathew until I saw that. That makes my stomach sick too. I would be so bummed if he wasn't at the games. I respect the shit out of that guy.
That derailed the entire season. We had plans to go three-peat 3 years in a row. We had plans with sponsors. All of it went out the window as soon as the penalties were final. There was a huge discrepancy with it. So me and some of the other athletes were trying our hardest to battle it to see if there was some kind of middle ground outcome that could come of it. When all was said and done and it was just crickets and nobody really said anything and it was just like, this is what it is, it's final, it's done.
There's something we should do in this situation, and we are not, and I think the numbers support that. All that being said, big picture, is this the right way to do it next year or in future years? I believe no.
The whole reality of it all set in, and it was pretty hard to deal with at first, you know? At first it was like denial. It was a stupid movement, it was a stupid standard, it was everybody else's fault, blah, 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 blah. And then it sort of started morphing into, okay, let's take a little bit of an off season, let's hang out with the family, kind of take a few weeks off, kind of accepting the fact that, okay, season's over, let's kind of take some time out and rest. Kind of took a little bit of hiatus, a couple weeks of just deloading down. As we start to ramp back up a little bit, we also at the same time decided we're opening this nice new giant space. So in terms of the business side of things, maybe it's for the better that I didn't make the games this year, because doing this and then doing training for the games would have been a really hell of a time trying to balance all that stuff. We're, 2 weeks away from the CrossFit Games. Honestly, haven't really paid too much attention with that whole side of the realm. Like, noticed that some workouts have gotten released and stuff, but I haven't really dug deep and kind of stood in my own lane for a little while and kind of collected my own thoughts. This next week on Monday is going to be like essentially the start to the new season. This will be the 2025 games start on Monday, and yeah, we're coming on a mission and ready to light some fires, and we're going to be coming this year. That's what's happening. When I started seeing people going to semifinals, seeing the semifinal workouts get dropped, seeing the people that were qualifying for the games and all that stuff, that kind of started to give me a little bit of anger and chip on my shoulder. And I reared back up into training with a different fire, one that I was going to like not only prove to myself that I can make the games, but prove to everybody that I belonged there. Lights stay on. What fueled this whole season was just kind of that chip on my shoulder and my anger for it. Like, I know some athletes will go back and they'll be like, oh, I took second place and that was the best thing to ever happen for me. Maybe I don't know yet if that was it. Maybe it was a good thing that it fueled my fire for this next year, you know? But I don't know that I needed that to fuel my next year, you know? I don't know that either, because the fire's always been there to continue and to perform and get there and do all that stuff. I don't think anything really changed there. I think it was just like back to square one. Felt like I was trying to make regionals again for the first time this whole next season. I haven't not been at a semifinal since back in the 2018 days, so it was a pretty big hit not even making it to that stage because of this thing that happened. There was that stress too of like, oh snap, are my best years behind me now? Did I lose all the momentum and now I'm never gonna gain it back? Some athletes only make it to the games once or twice, you know, and then they don't ever make it back. At the games every year, people are getting fitter and fitter and fitter. Competition's getting harder. Did I cherish the moments that I was at the games so much that if they were done tomorrow, am I okay with how I did and okay with everything? And the answer is no to that. We got unfinished business. There's more to give in me, you know, so.
That's why I hate supplements. There's no instant gratification from them. You just know that they're doing something. I'm gonna make my super drink. Aminos, 2 scoops, 350 milligrams of caffeine. Definitely a big caffeine guy, so we're going with 2 today. I was listening to a guy on YouTube, Derek More Plates, More Dates, and he was talking that there's been studies that have said that in the past that we're supposed to have 5 grams of creatine a day, but now science is saying that people benefit from it differently. Some people need more, so do a scoop and a half of creatine, just a little extra in case I'm one of those people. Just like liver formula stuff, it's supposed to be really good for you. And this stuff from Heart and Soil that I got, they gave it to me after after CrossFit Mayhem. I got a couple canisters of this. New Zealand grass-fed testicle, New Zealand grass-fed liver, New Zealand grass-fed whole blood extract, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and immune proteins. So, all good things for your body. So, let's trust this one. See what happens.
When that doubt starts to creep in, that's where all the problems lie, you know? You gotta kind of have that false hope. I'm doing this and I know it's gonna pay off. I think what keeps me confident is just a built-in habit. I feel like I've worked so long and so hard at trying to improve not only the physical aspect of me, but the mental side of me as well. In relationships, professional life, like personal life, I won't accept anything less because I'm still gonna give whatever I do 100% effort. I'm not just gonna quit something because it gets harder because I didn't make it. There's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes other than working out that I would be letting people down if I was to just throw it in. And I feel like that would be really selfish. And I can't do that for everything people have done for me, so. We're gonna attack the first workout of the CrossFit Games, 4-mile run, 3K row, 2-mile run. Good squad of people that are just geared up to work out and do any craziness that comes with the day.
We agree to it 4 days before, and then we regret it the day of. Yeah, right.
And then we do it, and afterwards, we're gonna feel so good.
And then we're happy, yeah.
At the end, we're gonna feel great. This is not a one-man job that I just have to go and compete. There's so many moving parts, being that I run a gym, that I'm a dad, that I'm a spouse. If I didn't have people in my corner that I just come into the gym and they're down to throw down and do workouts with me every day, like I can just walk in an open gym and like I have a workout to do, I don't want to do it by myself, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna pop up and do it with me. That gives me a lot of support because it's helping me do the hard things that maybe I wouldn't be able to just do constantly by myself if I didn't have the community that we have here that will help me do that.
Get it. Go, Nick. Finish, man.
all my at-home stuff is taken care of and the home runs smoothly and all that stuff is squared away with Ashley. Cooking and meal prepping, helping out with things around the house for me so that I can go and compete. When it comes to online qualifiers, we got head judge Mitchell in the gym making sure that every movement standard, every rule is followed, every tape line is measured and laid down the exact way, every starting spot. So like, it takes a village. Like, I would not be able to do it without everybody behind me. And again, it would be selfish of me to just throw it all away because I failed on some step-ups. Does anybody ever clip their knees on a snatch too?
Once in a while.
Smack your knees on the way up when you start pulling, it's just like, God dang it, right on the front. Okay. Most of the time, both of those reasons is because you're too squatted when you're starting. The tendency is to just start standing up instead of driving back so that bar can kind of go straight up the legs. My day-to-day looks pretty identical. I wake up at the same time every morning. I eat breakfast at the same time every morning. I've tried to keep myself in the exact routine that doesn't interrupt my job, doesn't interrupt my family as much as I can, and I've kind of organized it to a way that I can do all the things.
Basically just Primal Kitchen, buffalo sauce. Sometimes there's a good mix though. The chicken dipping, Primal Kitchen. And I've actually been liking this stuff lately too, like hot honey. That's usually all that I'll eat. And then with the same exact lunch every single day, just makes it easy and consistent. I don't have to think about it.
I have my workout time from 10 to noon. From noon to 3 is usually like work management, take care of the gym, order things, like message leads, talk to people. My programming is in the 3 and 4 o'clock classes, so I can just, after I'm done working, hop in with them, do a workout, and then go coach the 5 and 6 o'clock class. And then if I need to do anything extra after that, I can do it at home in the garage. Or if I'm done, I can just go home and hang out with the kiddo after I clean up the gym and, you know, watch a movie, eat some good food, relax for a little while with the fam.
I like to make the garage nice and organized, paint the walls and make it like decorative and nice, and then hang all that stuff up in there. But I'll have to add another one. Yeah, these back squats that are coming. Gonna add another one up there.
I programmed them after the workout was announced this week. So you know who doesn't like going for a 1 rep max throughout the middle of the week, you know? We don't do it very often, so let's just send it today and see what happens. Event W, baby. Who's taking second? That was my first thought. I don't know if it's false confidence, but I'm pretty confident that I can go out and win that event right now. I swiped over a slide and it said that there's a big prize purse for if you win the event. And then event wins get extra money, so it's like, it's a big incentive for that workout. So makes it pretty stoked that we're gonna go get to do it.
All right, I got a protein bar, a beef stick, 2 fig bars, go-go squeeze, got some fruit gummies right now before I dabble into all my candy later. I don't have any more nanas, and I don't like using frozen nanas. Packed up, ready.
I'm so locked into the routine and like the thought of it and the presence of it. My entire life is CrossFit, you know? Regardless if I made it or not, I'd still be doing the same thing. There's no quitting. This season presented a lot of challenges. With setting out right away and setting our goals so high to basically take over 2 different competitions and 2 different seasons. There's a lot of intertwining and not a lot of rest and a lot of travel. Maintaining the fitness across all the competitions and all the highs and lows of competition, I think I thought right away that I was gonna do worse with it than I did. As I started going into it, I was like, as long as I do this smart and don't be a wuss, you know? It's working out, you know? I handled it a lot better than I originally thought. I definitely didn't want to travel anymore. I didn't want to get on flights. I didn't want to go through security lines at airports anymore or anything like that. Continuing the actual fitness over the weekends, I think I did pretty fine with. You know? I mean, the 2024 season, we're only just a little bit over a year ago that happened, and it's literally felt like an eternity. The step-ups initiated the chip on my shoulder to want to get back in a fashion that wasn't just about making the games, but it was like making a statement at the games. And that's kind of where I'm at now, is like, cool, now we made the games, I won a semifinal, I won the online qualifier for the World Fitness Project. I'm going to take my pro card here in about 3 months when we get to Denmark. Basically, this entire season would have paid off to the exact goals that I said that I wanted to do. Like, what would I do without working out? I would have to do adulting, you know? Like, I'd have to actually go get my tabs for my car or something. That would be crazy. I'd go actually handle some bank stuff and some and insurance stuff, you know? Like, no, I'd rather stay super busy so I don't have to go do that stuff. Yeah, I can't do that. No, we have to keep going, you know? We're gonna set it up. We're gonna set it up for the rest of our lives. Plus, there's only a limited time to doing this. I'm gonna have time for all that other stuff later, you know? Just gonna go like this.
Get a video of you get
Just gonna go like this. Mr. Herbity.
right. Blinding light.
Mic'd up.